Everybody, happy St. Patty's Day. You're joining us on Selling to the CIO podcast, and I have a great guest on the podcast today. Kristen, how are you?
I am doing well, David.
Uh,
How are
uh,
you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us. I'm excited to have you. You have some great stories to share and perspective. I met Kristen a while ago. We both serve as part of the Tech Impact Advisory Board. Kristen will spend some time talking about that today, actually, and that's a good way to make some connections. And she is also president and CEO of Lamoreaux Search, right? I think I got that right.
You got it.
Right. And what else does she? She's also founder of SIM for Women, which is awesome. I know there's a big event coming up, I think April
Yeah.
20th, right?
Mhm.
And there's a lot of other things too, but it will take too long to do all your accolades. So let's get right to it. Again, I appreciate you getting on the line today and talking to the audience out there about great ways and ways to make meaningful connections. So I know you spend a lot of time doing that in your business. Let's get into it. I'll let you let's freestyle a little bit here.
Awesome. No, I appreciate you inviting me on. And I remember the days of being handed a phone book and told, go call. So hated them so much. I said, there's got to be some other ways to do this and
Yeah.
accomplish the same goals.
I think
So,
you and I are similar of age. We started, back in the day, old school, right?
oh,
Which people don't know how to do that anymore, honestly, right?
it's true. And plus, I think consumers have gotten smart, so nobody answers their phone anymore if it's an unknown
Hmm.
number, you know. So we have to have better strategies. We have to have something that has more meaning to it in order to try to build a relationship.
Yep.
You know, I equate it to, for those who are younger, you're out at a bar when we could go to a bar, and somebody just comes up to you and is, expecting you to go home with them after 2.2 seconds. And you're like, no way in hell. Same thing when selling to executives.
I love that analogy. That's the first
You,
I've heard that.
you've
I
really
love
got
it.
to build relationships. I mean, again, we've known each other, you know, through our philanthropy for 10 years,
Yeah.
and still it's like there's still things we're learning about each other. It's a relationship takes time. Now, no company would be a fan of a sales cycle that's 10 years long. So, okay, we want to expedite things a little bit. But when you and I were chatting, we're talking about what has worked for me in the past and still to this day.
Yeah.
One of the key things is networking through philanthropy.
I
You
love it.
know, it's something where all of us have things that we're passionate about, whether it is a disease focused passion, whether it is helping kids, education, physical fitness, good food, access to shelter. It could be anything, but it's about finding something that you authentically care about and then getting involved. Now, you can be deliberate in terms of, gee, who do I want to get close to?
Yeah.
Who is that target company we're going after? Cool. Look up that CEO and see what organizations they're involved with. But don't think that just because you volunteer for the Ronald McDonald House board that every CEO on that board is immediately going to be your best friend and best customer, because that's just
It's
not going to work.
it's so true. God, I tell the reps all the time and people I talk to, and you're the first really who's kind of zoned in on it, that the importance of this, right? It's
Mhm.
such to get the attention of these C-level folks. You're not gonna get to them by just calling their admin and setting up appointments. It's not gonna work.
No,
But this approach that you're suggesting is one of the best ways, right? Without in a non-invasive way.
right. And truly, you're still doing good in the world
Yes.
while you're executing your sales cycle. And so when you truly care about the mission, whatever it may be, then the top executives see you, they get to know you. Immediately, you're not the salesperson they're
Yeah.
trying to stay away from. You're a colleague who also cares about that same mission they do. And you build trust. And when you have that trust, because you've done a couple of fundraisers, you've, kicked in your company sponsor dollars, yeah, then when they have that opportunity, it's not, ugh, who am I going to have help me with this? It's, oh, David, he's awesome. Yeah, I've worked with him on this thing that we do on the side. Hey, David, can you help me with this
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar thing? Awesome.
So true. And you said something last time I spoke to you. You said, I think it was, I like the title for the podcast. You said, be human first, which I
Absolutely.
thought is just so important as part of this whole process.
Now, and it is something that it was actually a really funny story where that lesson was solidified for
Yeah.
me.
You gotta tell this story. It's
All right.
fabulous.
So I was in my very early 30s, and I had just joined SIM, the Society for Information Management, which is a network for CIOs and their direct reports.
Yep.
And I'm the third woman in the chapter. I am the youngest by 20 years. I was green. And I'm attending my SIM meeting, and okay, this is going to be great. Bright, shiny business cards in my pocket, ready to go. And the global head of talent acquisition for J&J was presenting. And as you could expect, the second he was done, he stepped off the stage. He was swarmed. Everybody wanted a
Yeah.
piece of him.
Everybody, they're all rock stars, right?
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's so funny that you say rock stars, because I'm just waiting by the door, knowing he's going to come out to go to dinner. So I'm going to be the casual. I'm not going to swarm him. Yeah, okay. He's making eye contact, walking toward me. I got my company smile on, got my hand in my pocket with my business card, ready to hand it to him. And all of a sudden, this guy comes and cuts in front of me. He's waving his business card in the face of this executive, like he's trying to get an autograph from a rock star. And
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it many times. It's
the guy
hilarious.
from J&J doesn't miss a beat, just turns his head and says, "I will never do business with you."
It's great.
And keeps walking toward me. And now I'm like, okay, business cards back in the
Yeah.
pocket.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, he's like, oh, hello. And I said, oh, thank you so much for being here and for the thought leadership you shared. And he says, oh, thank you so much. It's so kind of you. And as he's talking, I am getting hit with the worst breath ever.
Oh, we've all been there.
It
Gosh,
was
it's so
so
funny.
terrible. Oh my God, David. And now I'm freaking out, right? Now I'm freaking out going, do I say something? I can't. That would be so embarrassing. And I'm going to kill my chances. But again, he's winding down his brush off, right? And I only have moments left to decide. And because all of us have gotten caught in that situation, I had Listerine breath strips in my other pocket.
You're like the what was that game show? Yeah, the host always said, "You have that in your paperclip in your pocket. I'll give you $100. Let's make it. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal."
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Monty Hall.
I palm the breath strips, and he puts out his hand to shake my hand, and I shake his hand with them right in my palm. And he kind of makes a face and he goes, "Is that your business card?" Like maybe I'd folded it up into this little thing. And I said, "No, but I think you could partake of them." And he
Wow.
looks down, he closes his fist, he just went, and he walks away. And I'm like, I'm screwed. I done ruined my chance of ever doing business with J&J. I'm going to have to report to my company that I just totally screwed the pooch on it. So then it was about 20 minutes later, we did networking. We're about to go and finish out the event. And he comes up and interrupts my conversation with another CIO. And he says, "Kristen, I respect acts of courage. My office next week, we're having lunch." Not only did I have lunch literally in his office where he served me, I thought that was kind of odd, but he was running late, so we couldn't go to a restaurant. He's like, hey, I ordered in for you. I hope you like sandwiches. I'm like, okay, cool, sure. But inside a month, I had a search to place the head of global SAP integration for J&J.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because I was human first. I didn't focus on the sale. If
Yep.
I focused on the sale, it would have gone to complete shit.
Yeah.
By being human first and worrying about him, he gave me an opportunity in return.
I love it. And it's like I think I told you that before. It's like when you see somebody with their fly down, right? Nobody ever wants to say anything, but I always go up, hey, listen, a little pat on the back, your fly's down.
Yeah.
People, I know it's embarrassing for for you and for the person, but they appreciate it, right? I mean, I want
Yes.
somebody to tell me if my fly's down or I'm missing a button or something like that. My belly's hanging out, right? So
I actually wrote a blog forever ago called "Hun, you got lipstick on your teeth."
I love it.
Because
Right.
especially now in a video world, if there's something not right, yeah, hey, heads up, before we spend an hour and a half of me ignoring that food hanging from your face, you might want to clean that up.
Yeah, because I could see it back, right? You say something like that to somebody and they go in the mirror and they go, son of a bitch, I had this in my tooth the whole time. And that person I was talking to didn't say anything. I'd be upset, right? So
Yes.
I like like you just said, being human, that approach,
Mm-hmm.
like you finding a meaningful connection, besides the story to get back to it, another way to get access to these C-level folks because they're hammered all day, night long, afternoon, morning, right? It's amazing.
Right. Now, it is something where, as I said, each of us have things that we're passionate about.
Yeah, no
I don't
doubt.
care if you're passionate about baseball. Be
Hmm.
passionate about baseball. Then find out what in a philanthropic focus can you leverage with baseball, little league, making sure inner city kids have equipment, coaches. Like, there's worlds out there that a good salesperson can explore in like 45 minutes and start making some choices. You don't want to join 10 things. It won't work. But pick 2 or 3. For me personally, I've always been a champion of diversity.
Yep.
I've now founded and run Sim Women for 14 years.
Wow.
So is there a female CIO that hasn't heard of me? I'm sure there's a few, but I've got 1,100 plus that do know who I am because of the work I've done philanthropically.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's such an important lesson for these, especially younger career sales folks, to understand that it's a long haul and that
Yeah.
you have these relationships forever. And I say, listen, the average person changes jobs 8 times in their life, right?
Mhm.
You're not going to have the same job you're going to have, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So build those meaningful relationships, and the way that you go about it is such a great suggestion, and so important to learn that, to go about it that way. So that's awesome.
Happy to help.
Yeah. So what else you got? What how's we're at the wow, we're already at the 13-minute mark. So that's I could spend all day with you. But any other suggestions, maybe in this time of COVID with the video stuff going on, what else have you seen from talking to your network of what matters to them, and also personally, because you're trying to build your own business as well? Anything else?
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
One last key thing is make sure your backgrounds are interesting. Either a solid virtual background
Yeah.
or something where we are all nosy. We all want
Oh,
to
yes.
peek into what's going on in their life, what's in there. And when you have something like this, even if you're talking and you think they're listening to you, no, they're watching everything in the background. But that's okay because it's a personal branding opportunity. I was going after a CIO who was an avid sailor, and you don't see it in this shot now, but I've got a this size sailboat that I moved front and center to be right over here. And he's like, "Is that a schooner?" I said, I'm like, "Yes," and instant rapport.
Totally. So
And
important.
again, subtle yet deliberate.
It's the first thing I do when I go into somebody's office. I look
Yes.
around. I just
Yeah. Hey,
I do
what's
I
your
do
clue?
I do a quick scan, just something I can latch on to, picture of the kids. Oh, I got two kids, whatever it is. So it's the same thing in this situation. Right? I think I'm gonna go change my get a bookcase and put some interesting stuff in the background after this call, because I think that is so important. And get on video. That's the other message,
Yes.
right? Don't.
Yes.
I got a lot of my reps who just refuse to get. I'm like, just get off the call. If you don't want to be on
Yeah.
video, just get off the call, because that's how I
Yeah.
feel about it, right?
Honestly, it is, I get the Zoom fatigue,
Yeah,
legit. And there are plenty of times where I'm hair in a ponytail, rocking a trucker hat, but I'm still on, right?
love it.
And because also, little tip, eyes are right into the webcam. If I'm looking down at David the whole time, I'm not making eye contact.
Mm,
Nobody gives a shit about what I'm saying.
so true.
Stare at the little dot, it's your friend,
I
and
love
people
it.
will feel that you're speaking to them versus reading notes or looking at yourself on camera going, oh, what's up with your hair? Like, no, webcam.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I'm staring at you, so it probably looks like I'm not. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, those are two, well, three awesome tidbits of information you gave during this 16 minutes and 5 seconds. This was awesome. We'll wrap this up, because you know how salespeople are. They got a very short attention span, including myself, right? So
Gotta go.
it was so awesome, Kristen, finally getting to talk to you. These are great, invaluable tips. I really appreciate it. If you want more information like this, you can always go buy the book, Selling to the CIO, or hook up with Kristen. She can give you some more tips on some things to join. I'm sure she'd be happy to help. She's always willing to help. So
Absolutely.
it was great seeing you. Have a great St. Patty's Day.
Thank
Don't
you. You do the same.
don't do
Aaron
it.
Gobra.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, all right, giddy up. All right, Kristen, thanks so much. It was awesome having you. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much,
All
David.
right.
Take care.